What's going on, everyone? I've realized I've not done a plugin review for a long time, so I decided that now would be a good time to make one. Today we will be taking a look at the Slate Digital Everything Bundle. This was one of the first plugin bundles I've ever bought and is one of the bundles that I most consistently use, so I thought it was worthy of a review. I'm going to break this review down into 4 separate categories of criteria. We have versatility, ease of use, quality of sound, and finally the price point. This bundle has a lot in it, and I'm not going to share what I think about every single separate plugin. There would be way too much to cover and quite a bit of redundancy. So instead, I'm going to try and cover the information that I think is important to you if you are in the market for some new software. Let's get into it. So the first category that I'm going to review is the versatility of this software. The way I'm going to do this is give you a little rundown of what you get when you purchase the Slate Digital Everything Bundle. Obviously, you have all of your standard processors available. You've got your compressors, your EQ, delay, and reverb, but you also have a lot more than just that. Even though you have some pretty standard EQs like the FGN, the FGS, and the CS EQ, which cover your fully parametric, semi-parametric, and fixed frequency EQs, you also have these more characterized EQs for very specific jobs. These add subtle tonal character to a specific range of the frequency spectrum and are great if your track is missing, a little bit of thickness or shimmer. So just through the virtual mix rack, you have 6 different EQs at your disposal. The last frequency processor that is available to you through this plugin is the EOSIS. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Well, regardless, it's a de-esser, which has a spectrograph visual and a wide range of parameters and presets to help you dial in just the right settings. Let's take a look at the dynamic processing that is available to you through the software bundle. So for starters, you have these 4 standard compressors, an FET, VCA, and these modern and vintage models, all which have slightly different applications and sound characteristics. The newest addition to the Slate Digital Bundle is the FG Stress, which is a software model of the famous distressor. With this bundle, you also get a series of bus compressors that are not part of the virtual mix rack, but have some unique parameters such as a drive control and stereo/mid-side switch, which is pretty cool in my opinion. On top of these compressors, you also have the Monster, which is an extreme and aggressive compressor. It has the effect of the all buttons in effect that the LA2A has. Regardless, it's a very sought after hardware sound. I'd look it up if you're not sure what it is. It's a big part of hardware history, I guess. In terms of dynamics, the whole bundle also offers this unit called the FG Bomber, which works as an impact enhancer, or more specifically, a transient enhancer. And then finally, just a standard trim plugin with a polarity reversal switch is also included in this bundle. So besides the EQs and the dynamic processors, this bundle also comes with 1 delay unit and 1 reverb unit. Now, you may quickly think to yourself, wow, only 1 option for each? There are multiple compressors and EQs. Well, each unit has a wide variety of presets and parameters to give you a lot of versatility in dialing in the correct settings. The Slate Digital Everything Bundle comes with a lot more than just EQ, compression, and time-related processors. There are also a lot of saturation modules that are incorporated into this bundle. You've got tube saturators, console simulation, amp simulation, tape simulation, and even modules that are projects of Slate Digital to add certain elements to your mix with minimal effort. I guess what you should get from all of these is that you will be receiving a full new toolbox if you were to purchase this bundle, and I think that is what should be expected nowadays. So in the versatility department, I'm going to give this bundle a 9 out of 10 simply because a 10 out of 10 rating really is above and beyond. And even though this bundle really does have everything you need, including a mastering console, which I forgot to mention earlier, but there are still some things that are not available through this bundle, even though all the necessities and creative abilities are incorporated. Let's talk about ease of use. The first thing that I want to mention about this is how clean all the modules look. They're very easy to read, and you can see each and every parameter very clearly. This is something that I've always wondered about Waves plugins. Sometimes they are just a bit daunting to look at, even if they do have a bit more versatility. This kind of thing, in my opinion, plays a large role in determining the preference of an engineer. Because even if this gives you an insane amount of versatility and customization, how much longer does it take to dial in just the right settings? And are your ears even developed and trained enough to pick out such minute differences? This is definitely something to take into consideration when purchasing any processor, hardware, or software. So continuing on with ease of use, I want to bring up the virtual mix rack. This is a very nice addition to the bundle and is very easy to use and very visually appealing. You can literally just drag and drop whatever plugin you want into your rack and have multiple processors taking up a significantly less amount of space. I've always thought that this was a nice, unique addition to the bundle and definitely to the benefit of the whole package. The only issue I have with this ease of use category for this bundle is that not all of the plugins can fit in the virtual mix rack, things such as the bus compressors that I showed earlier. And I found myself saying, where is that plugin? Multiple times. Absolutely not something that should make or break it in your mind, but if you're going to buy this package or not, it's something that has slowed down my workflow a little bit. Regardless, I'm going to give this package another 9 out of 10 for ease of use. All right, and now let's get to the point that everyone has been waiting for. How do these plugins actually sound? Well, let's do a side-by-side comparison from the stock plugins of Pro Tools and compare. All right, so let's start by taking a look here at our EQs and compare it to our stock EQ. So this is our stock EQ. As you can see, I brought up a 500 hertz tone by around 7 dB. I wanted to make it nice and obvious just so that you can hear the quality of the EQ versus the stock. So first of all, I'm going to bring in this EQ without, with. Now let's go over to our Slate Digital. We're going to bring this on bypass, and then we're going to bring up the FGS. And once again, you can see that I have a Q of 10 here, so it's a very, very small, narrow adjustment. And I made that adjustment here on the FGS, but the FGN does not have it, so you'll see the difference in sound of the FGN. So let's check that out. Much bigger difference, just because it doesn't have the Q control. So the biggest thing that I notice here with the EQ is that they seem a bit more subtle and there's less noise being created by the processor when adding something as much as 7 dB. So let's move forward on to our compressors, our dynamic processors here. I'm going to bring up two different stock plugins here. This is the BF76. This is probably one of my favorite stock plugins that Pro Tools comes with, and I think it's still very nice. But let's take a listen to see how this compressor sounds to the ones in the Slate Digital bundle. I tried my best to give similar settings between all the compressors, but they all have different parameters, so they might be a little bit different. Hopefully you can get the idea of what each one sounds like. So that was the BF76. I'm going to bring up our first plugin. This is a VCA compressor. Little bit of pumping on that, but like I said, I wanted to bring it up a lot so that you could hear the characteristic of the plugin. Let's move over to our FET compressor. More subtle. And now let's move over to our modern FG116. Now let's go back to our stock plugins here, and I want to show you something. Take a listen to this dynamic stock plugin, and just listen to how this affects the signal. It's very obvious and has a very distinct sound when passing the threshold and dropping below the threshold. And that's why I'm not a huge fan of this compressor, as when you listen to something just like this FET here, you can see that at points it definitely falls below the threshold, as the gain reduction meter is not always moving. But you do not hear that difference between passing the threshold and falling below the threshold, which makes these a lot more subtle and a lot more versatile, in my opinion. All right, so there's the compressors. Let's move on to our reverb. So once again, I tried my best to come up with as similar settings as I could. However, they are very different plugins, so they have different parameters. So I just took the regular Deverb from the stock plugin, and we're going to compare it with the Verb Suite Classics from the Slate Digital Everything Bundle. So let's first take a listen to our Deverb. 2 seconds decay, normal room sound. I've always liked the Deverb. It's always a pretty solid go-to if you need it. But now let's take a listen to the Verb Suite. What I notice is there's a lot more detail in the room reflections of the Verb Suite Classics, and that's why I really like this plugin for reverb. Anyways, let's move on to the delay real quick, and I just want to show you the difference between this repeater, which is the Slate Digital, and a regular dynamic delay. So first of all, they have very, very different parameters. This dynamic delay from Air, which is the stock plugin, does not even have a decay time to set. It gives you certain parameters, like kind of on the quarter note, which is what it is here. So let's take a listen to how this sounds. Take a listen to the repeater. Once again, let's go back to the dynamic delay. And once again, it's the actual repeats in the delay that I feel have more detail within the repeater. So there you go. There is my comparison. I think the biggest thing to think about is that the Slate Digital plugins have a bit more versatility, and they're a bit more subtle so that you can make more adjustments and feel more comfortable with them. And that's why I definitely think they are a step up from the stock plugins that you would receive in most digital audio workstations. Finally, the last category that I want to review is the price point. Now, this bundle can be purchased by subscription for $14.99 a month on a 1-year contract, $24.99 for a month by month, and $179.88 for a full year subscription. I personally think that this is a very fair price, and let me show you why. There are about 30 plugins in this bundle, so if you sign the contract for approximately $15 a month for a year, you're paying 50 cents a month for each plugin. Now, realistically, I only use about 50% of these plugins on a regular basis, so for what I use, I'm spending more around $1 a month on each plugin. Regardless, this is still a very fair deal for what you are getting, and there really are not too many better deals in my opinion. So I'll give this price point a 9.5 out of 10. So overall, I would recommend this plugin bundle to almost any music producer or audio engineer. It gives you pretty much everything you need. It's visually pleasing, easy to use, the quality of sound is at least a step up from stock plugins, and on top of it all, it's affordable. Despite getting my seal of approval, I still not think it's for everyone though. If you are a seasoned professional, already have 10,000 hours of experience, you have a huge collection of plugins and not intimidated by overly complicated parameters, and looking for that next level quality of sound plugin, then this is probably not the best bundle for you. It sounds fine, they're unique plugins, they're of quality. I just don't think they will blow you away as a seasoned professional looking to up their software game. But regardless, for the most of us looking to improve our own home studio collection and up the quality of our productions and workflow, I would highly recommend the Slate Digital Everything Bundle. So that's it for this review, everyone. Drop a like if you found this video helpful and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And until next time, have a good day.